So to continue on from last week, we're going to keep going with part 3 of hamstrings for sprinting. So how would we implement these sprints that are going to help inoculate our hamstrings to that injury risk from high speed sprinting? So we would want to basically do it. There's a couple different ways we can approach it. We can approach it intensity based or distance based, and we're going to utilize 10-yard accelerations and flying 10s. So a flying 10s when you're building out to a certain distance and then sprinting all out speed for that last remaining 10 yards. So you're building up so you can go full speed for those 10 yards. Now the intensity based way of doing it is to basically some of the negative effect of this is going to be the athlete has to use his perceived intensity, which we know athletes don't know what perceived intensity actually is. You're going 10-yard accelerations, you're not really going to be able to change the intensity. With 10-yard accelerations, you can go 100%. Chances of an athlete getting hurt are extremely low, although I've seen athletes get hurt on the deacceleration because they tried to stop too fast. So make sure they know to slow up over time. For flies, you want to start at a lower percentage and slowly build to 100. So you're going to build over weeks. The way I've done it is you start at 70% for the 2 times we were sprinting that week, then 80 the next week, then 90, then I've done 95, and then we went full out 100 for our flies. Now the other way you can do it's distance based, where you're basically you can build your accelerations out 10 yards to 20 yards over each week, extending out further. Along with that, your flies are going to build out over distance. So you might start out with a fly where they're only going 10 yards and then 10 yards into the fly. So they're only getting that 10-yard buildup. And then each week build back to where you finally get out to that 40-yard buildup that you're looking for. And then, like from an overall speed work, some good things to know. Every 10 yards, to actually work speed, they're going to want a minute rest. The other option would be is to have them hit that 10-yard sprint, then have them walk back as slow as possible and then go again. If we're going to do drill work, do it before you do your actual sprints, because then you're drilling in technique and it lowers the risk of injury. Your volumes, it can be for like actual speed work when it's programmed in, it can be anywhere from 50 yards all the way out to more than 250 yards, but you want to extend that volume over time. You don't want to jump an athlete out all the way out. We're going to do 250 yard sprinting work in a session where we're doing multiple 10s, multiple flies all the way out that. You want to slowly build out your total yardage. How I've applied it in the past with teams and had great success. We maybe had one hamstring injury in the prep through the, trying to think, 1,000 athletes I've worked with. I've had one athlete hurt their hamstring in the speed work, and it's all dependent on a lot of factors, but the main thing is you want to go through a long athletic warm-up, prep them. They need to be awake and ready to sprint. Your speed work drills are going to go before any of your sprinting because you just want to use it as a prep, not only neural-wise, but also to kind of get their form in, because bad form can cause those hamstring injuries. And then we went with, I've used the intensity based. It was just easier to build out. I had success with it, even though the athlete can go at higher intensities when you don't want them to. I've sprinkled it in. I always sprinkled it in before lifts and never really went high volumes. And that has more to do with my athletes. Normally when I got to see them, they're practicing already. They're going to be sprinting at practice. So those loads that we need to expose them to aren't going to nearly be as high because it's rare I got to see guys in the off season most of the time. And even the kids that I have nowadays, when I have them in their off season's AAU going on, so they're playing games anyways. So you're sprinkling in small volumes in your sessions. And always use your timing gates every time. If you're not tracking, you're not training, but it also gets the athlete to running through the timing gates, and it drops a nervousness down, which often increases their intensity.